In a past interview with ESPN, ex-UFC champ TJ Dillashaw said he didn't think that Aljamain Sterling was champion caliber and viewed a fight versus Aljamain as easy. TJ had said, "He's good, don't get me wrong, he's got some attributes. He wouldn't be where he is without being good, but he's definitely not champion caliber. The guys that I fought already in the past are much better than he is, a lot more dangerous. There's no danger fighting Sterling." Well, Sterling heard his comment and jumped on Twitter and responded, "TJ, who the fuck have you beaten that is so much tougher than the guys I've faced? LOL, this is Comedy Central. You should do stand-up with Henry Cejudo. He's your daddy, after he sunned your needled ass." Georges St-Pierre is unanimously considered to be the greatest welterweight of all time, with dominant performances versus tough competition and 9 consecutive title defenses over the span of 5 years, with his most notable wins coming over Matt Hughes, John Fitch, BJ Penn, Jake Shields, Carlos Condit, Nick Diaz, and even Michael Bisping at middleweight. Well, Kamaru Usman is a newer generation welterweight and starting to contend for the GOAT status at welterweight as well. It's left many fans wondering how GSP would have fared versus Usman in his prime. Well, James Lynch from MMA News asked George what he would have done to beat Usman. George said, "Usman is very good at chain wrestling. He's very good at putting his opponents against the fence and working from there. He can do it all. He's very well rounded. My style was more like a guy that moves, hit and run. That was my game. My game would have been to put him down, but with my feints, with proactive and reactive takedowns. I would have tried to put him on his back because I've never seen him there. That would have been my strategy. When somebody seems stronger than anybody, that is where you need to attack. Sometimes the strength is transformed to a weak link. You never know how he fights on his back. No one has ever exposed him there. So there's guys that are very good wrestlers, but once they're on their back and they've never been there, so you don't know how they will react. Because of that, that's what I would have tried to do in a fight. Would I have succeeded or not? We'll never know. Haha, I think so, but it's because I'm a fighter. I'm biased. And there was no one I ever fought that I wasn't able to put down. It's a different era, different times. Guys get better, so I don't know. Usman is just fantastic. He's the best right now." A fight between Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury at this point seems to be inevitable after the two were seen talking about fighting each other after Fury's victory over Dillian Whyte. The two spoke of using 4-ounce MMA gloves instead of boxing gloves for their bout and possibly fighting barefoot. Francis also said that his contract with the UFC would have to give him clearance to fight Fury, otherwise he wouldn't consider staying with the promotion. Well, Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith heard about Francis electing to fight with smaller gloves. Although they praised Francis as an MMA fighter and paid their respects, they were not in favor of Francis boxing Fury in any respect, but were even more opposed to Francis fighting with smaller gloves on. They both felt Fury would defeat Francis dominantly and even more so with 4-ounce gloves. Anthony Smith said, "I don't want to see Francis fight Tyson Fury, especially in 4-ounce gloves. I like Francis. I think he's a fantastic fighter. He has amazing power in his hands. He's done a really good job with what he has. I just don't think he's that technical. He's not slipping punches. He's not super clean. He's not polished. He's rough around the edges. That's gonna get exposed with a guy like Tyson Fury, especially at his size. Francis has a physical advantage over anybody that he fights in the heavyweight division, just in power and explosiveness. Tyson Fury matches his size. I think Tyson is faster, more polished, longer, and he's bigger. I think all the advantages that Francis has in every fight that he's been in, he loses going into a Tyson Fury fight, and he's nowhere close to being as good of a boxer. If we're talking about checks, who am I to tell a guy that he can't go get himself a $20 to $30 million check? But if we talk about how that looks, I think it's really ugly. Francis doesn't hit any harder than Deontay Wilder does. Deontay is a Francis that is faster and a better boxer. So Tyson Fury has seen a Francis-like style and power. Francis has never fought anybody like Tyson. If you don't box better than someone in that sport, there is no plan B. Michael Bisping agreed with Anthony's assessment and added, "Tyson Fury is a better boxer. If Cyril Gane, a guy that's only had 10 fights, then in many ways is a total amateur when it comes to striking compared to Tyson Fury's, who's the most dominant heavyweight on the planet today. If Cyril can force you to become a wrestler, what the fuck do you think Tyson Fury is gonna do? Then when you combine it with the fact that you're gonna box with 4-ounce gloves, that's ridiculous. And I know people talk about, but you don't understand, it's different because you can't cover up with small gloves like you can in boxing. You're right, you can't. But Tyson's defense and offense is still going to be light years ahead of Ngannou's. With those 4-ounce gloves on, Tyson is just going to be picking him apart from a distance, snapping that jab in his face, the 1-2s, the uppercuts. Everything is gonna hit so much harder. God bless Francis. Go make some money. That's what we're all here for at the end of the day." So yesterday, Nate Diaz was complaining that the UFC wasn't booking him a fight in a tweet where he said, "I've been trying to fight everybody and no go. What's the holdup, UFC? I'm not fighting Conor. He sucks. I'll fight someone. Quit slow rolling me, please. Thanks." And Gilbert Burns responded and said, "Fight me, Nathan," and followed up, "Trying to fight everybody? LOL, LOL. I know a guy, Nate." And finally, much has not been heard from number 3 ranked featherweight Zabit Magomedsheripov after his victory over Calvin Kattar in 2019. It was reported that he was suffering from health issues related to his immune system and remained inactive since, and was removed from the rankings. He was reportedly going to make a comeback a few times, but his manager Mansour Uchakayev thinks Zabit will not make a comeback as he's lost interest to fight and found easier ways to make money. Mansour said, "I think no, fighting isn't all we have in life. There are more important things like family and raising kids. He's been fighting his whole life. He got tired of it. In the past, we had to fight for a living, but now we have better lives. There's no need to fight to make a living anymore. There are many ways to make money, and life's easier." Zabit is not only a great fighter, he's also a great businessman. As always guys, if you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button for me. If you're new, subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date. Thanks for watching.